Well, hello again, to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching Georgia Beer Reviews. Back at you today with another one. And what I'm looking at is another beer from Three Taverns Brewery out of Decatur, Georgia. This is their Cocoa Cafe. Now, the Cocoa Cafe is a chocolate, vanilla, cinnamon, coffee, milk stout. It is 8% alcohol by volume and sounds pretty good. Chocolate, vanilla, cinnamon, and coffee. Now, I had one the other day from them called Morning Smack, and that one was awesome. It had bacon, maple, banana, and maybe cinnamon as well. Anyway, that one was an excellent beer, so I'm pretty excited about this one. Haven't been let down by a Three Taverns beer so far. So let's go ahead and get into this one. Very thick, viscous. All right, as you can see, very large head there, deep beige color. It's cascading. The beer is building. Very black appearance with the beer itself. Completely opaque. Cannot see through it at all. I'm already getting the aroma. Coffee is the first thing that I'm getting with this. Much more coffee than the last Imperial Stout that I had from Three Taverns. Like a cold brew coffee. Really, really strong on the coffee aroma. I am getting a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of vanilla. It doesn't, oh yeah, it does have chocolate added to this. But I think some of that chocolate's just coming from the dark roasted barley malt. Very, very dark roast. Almost a burnt type component on the aroma. The coffee, the dark roasted barley malt, a little bit of chocolate vanilla. I'm not getting the cinnamon on the aroma at all, really. I know this one doesn't have maple in it, but there's almost like a maple syrup thing going on with this as well. Definitely malt forward. The coffee, though, is really the primary aroma that I'm getting, which may add significant bitterness to this beer. I don't necessarily think the IBUs are high, but there's probably going to be a pretty significant bitterness from the coffee that's in this because it's definitely pungent on the aroma for sure. So it smells pretty good. Um, the head is kind of strange. It's very airy, I guess you could say, aerated. All right, so it smells pretty good. So let's go ahead and give it a taste. Cheers, guys. Wow. Coffee, coffee, coffee. A lot of coffee. Um, and the coffee is providing a pretty significant bitterness, as I expected. A little bit of dark chocolate, a hint of vanilla. Still not really getting any cinnamon. The mouthfeel is almost heavy with this one, high medium. Despite this beer pouring with an enormous head, the carbonation is relatively low. I wish it was a little higher with this. The finish is kind of milky and wet. It's not a dry finish. The bitterness is pretty noticeable on the finish as well. It's just like drinking, black coffee, no cream, no sugar. There's a lot of bitterness with that type of thing. Um, Honestly, I don't know how people drink coffee black. You got to have some sugar, some cream, something in there. Very bitter beer from the coffee. The coffee, like I said, is really the dominant flavor in this. If you like coffee, you might like this beer. If you don't like coffee, stay away because you're gonna hate it. It's a very coffee forward beer. It is pretty malty, although, like I said, that bitterness is really coming through on the finish from the coffee, and I don't know what the IBUs are either, so you could be getting some bitterness from the hops, but there's no real hop character. It's just bitterness from the coffee that I'm picking up on. It did leave some pretty nice lacing. It's a pretty good beer. The Morning Smack that I had was a lot better than this, and not as thick. This is like motor oil. Very, very thick beer. This is a one and done for me. I, really wouldn't want to drink too much of this just because it's so heavy and filling, and the coffee is a little much for me. It's not very well balanced in that sense. I'll give you a perfect example. The Founders KBS, that one has coffee in it, but the chocolate notes and the barrel aging and all of that really create for a nice depth of flavor, and it's a very well balanced beer. This one is not a well balanced beer. Coffee all the way from start to finish with a noticeable coffee bitterness, and the chocolate, vanilla, cinnamon kind of get lost in this one because the coffee is just so dominant, so in your face. Although, like I said, you do pick up a little bit of the chocolate and the vanilla, but I'm not getting any cinnamon whatsoever. A little cinnamon would have been nice. Um, so this is a good beer. I did do this on Stout Sunday. I'm not quite sure what I gave it. I know it was somewhere in the B range, and that's what I'm going to stick to. Um, I want to say I gave it an 87 on Stout Sunday, but I'm actually going to drop my rating to an 85. It's right in the middle. It's a solid B, but it's really not a very well balanced beer. And I've had so many great stouts over the last year or two that this one just it doesn't hold a candle to some of the other ones that I've had. Um, the value is pretty good. I think it was 10 or 11.99 for a 4 pack, which is not the best deal, but for an 8% beer with all these flavors in there, it's not bad. I've seen a lot worse. And Three Taverns does make great beers. I've had a lot of their beers now, and they've all been pretty good. So this one is a B, but nothing really knocking my socks off. Definitely check it out if you're interested in coffee forward stouts. The 8% alcohol, I didn't mention that earlier, is masked very well. You're not getting any booziness with this one whatsoever. So that's a plus as well. Anyway, 84, or no, 85 out of 100 for the Cocoa Cafe from Three Taverns Brewery out of Decatur, Georgia. So that'll do it for this beer review, guys. Hope you're all having a great day. And until next time, everybody, cheers.